Good evening, Arlington. Welcome to the Board of Selectmen's meeting for the evening of May 8th, 2017. We are meeting shortly after 7 p.m. in the Selectmen's Chambers in the Town Hall. As my colleagues know, I like to start our meetings with a few words of inspiration. I was thinking we're coming up on Mother's Day that maybe it would be appropriate to find some inspiration there. So I found this quote from Erich Fromm, an American psychologist, who says, "Mother's love is peace. It need not be acquired. It need not be deserved." And so we wish a happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers, Ms. Mahan, Ms. Kropelka, Ms. Buongiorno, and all the other mothers with us and watching. Even when we're not deserving of your love, you're always deserving of ours in return.
We love you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Also, before we get into our agenda, we do have a sad note. Jean Berg, who used to worked in the Selectman's office for about 5 years, we just received the news that she has passed. And so with the board's permission, I'd like to ask for a short moment of silence. Thank you very much, and our condolences go out to her family and friends. So the first item on the agenda, we have with us Christine Buongiorno from the Patriots Day Parade Committee, who is here for a special presentation in relation to the parade. She was, I know, we had a great day for it, and Ms. Buongiorno was out there all day, had her whole committee working very hard, and it was a great day, so
Thank you very much, Chair Curo. On behalf of the Patriots Day Parade Committee, myself and Pat Quinn are here to thank our diamond sponsor, Leader Bank. This year, Leader Bank sponsored the parade. They were the lead sponsor, sponsoring us at the $5,000 level, which, as you know, it's incredibly difficult to run a parade, and it is incredibly important to have the support of those in the community, such as Leader Bank and all of our other sponsors that we had this year. So tonight we have with us two representatives from Leader Bank. We have Susan Crusoe and Elizabeth Ferlaza. They are here representing the bank on behalf of the Tully family. This year, the bank will be celebrating their 15th birthday. I know at the parade we sang happy birthday as their float went by, and we want to thank Leader Bank for not only their sponsorship of the parade, but also just their support to the community over the past 15 years, as they've been a very big part of Arlington. So thank you.
Thank you
both.
Thank you very much. Thank you to all of the committee, and thank you to Leader Bank and to all of the sponsors. Without your ongoing and consistent support, we couldn't continue this really valued tradition in town. So thank you so much. Next up, I see we have quite a few visitors in the audience today. We have a special proclamation in honor of the 100th anniversary of Boy Scout Troop 306. The proclamations, Mr. Greeley always does this much better than I do. I don't know if you want to do it. You're the old pro. We have a special way, and nobody does it like Mr. Greeley, so I'm going to pass the proclamation over to him.
That's because I do public proclamations, which means you have to participate. You have to help us out here. These proclamations come from really pre-revolutionary times when the selectmen would have a meeting. The next day, the town crier would go out and he would announce what the selectmen had talked about. So there's a lot of whereases and now therefore. So you are going to do the whereases for me, and I'll do the now therefore. So when I pointed you, I need all of you from Troop 306 to say whereas. Here we go.
Whereas.
Well, you have to do it louder than that. Troop 306 was organized as Troop 6 by Harvey Pops Bacon and was chartered in May of 1917 by the authority of the 11th District of the Boston Federated Council of the Boy Scouts of America, and
whereas
in the year 2017, Troop 306 celebrates its 100th anniversary of continuous unit chartering. For all 100 years of its existence, Troop 306 has been sponsored by the grace of the First Baptist Church of Arlington and its parishioners, and
whereas
don't lose steam now, the boys from the town of Arlington have been provided a unique opportunity to appreciate camping and the outdoors, to learn practical life and life-saving skills, to gain an appreciation of philanthropy by serving others, and to develop leadership abilities through experience. By Troop 306 throughout the entire course of its existence and operation, and whereas better, the Scouts of Troop 306 have conceived of, led, executed, and participated in service projects benefiting the town, including collecting and distributing food to the Arlington Food Pantry, improving town parks and conservation land, helping with DPW recycling days, painting fire hydrant, curb, no parking zones, and call boxes, developing an Arlington history trail, removing litter from the bike trail, and many others over the years, and whereas Harvey H. Bacon, Freddie Brown, Willard A. Wallace, Thomas M. Johnston, John S. Crosby, Walter H. Taft Jr., Lewis F. Calhoun, Murray Hensby, Richard W. Howe, Herbert O. Alderson, Horace H. Homer, Charles W. Clark, Richard W. Feeney, Herbert S. McDonald, Sanford M. Harlow, Randolph C. Wills, Norman H. Magnuson, Norman H. Magnuson, Jr., Carrie Conglianese, Brian M. Sullivan, Martin Von Tersch, and Scott Barvick have each capably served in the position of Troop 306 Scoutmaster, and last one, whereas during the course of its existence, 95 young men have obtained the highest rank of the Boy Scouts of America, that of Eagle Scout. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the members of the Arlington Board of Selectmen, do hereby name Friday, June 23rd, 2017, as Troop 306 Day in the town of Arlington in honor of its 100th anniversary, and ask all citizens to pay heed thereto.
It's time for my Superman routine.
Thank you for coming in.
First, I want to thank all the scouts, all the young men here from your troop, as well as your troop leaders, and I'm sure there's other people behind the scenes that we don't know about. I am a member of First Baptist Church, and when I was there, it was Mr. Magnuson Sr. and Jr. that were the people that I sort of interfaced with. And I want to say to everybody out there, to the scouts of this troop, you honestly have my unwavering respect. My son also went through the Boy Scouts, came close to becoming an Eagle Scout, but, you know, didn't quite get there. And to have 95 young men from this troop to have attained that status, I've learned that it wasn't just the young man in the troop, it also is a family effort, because there's an awful lot of work that goes into it. But then there's an awful lot of work in terms of what Mr. Greeley read in the proclamation for everybody in your troop, that you really recognize, you know, what community you're in and what projects are really important. And that really takes a sense of being involved and being connected. And I just want to say, as someone, I'm in the legal field in one of my other jobs, I can't tell you how many times that I've been in an interview room. So I say this to everyone in the troop. I've been in an interview room, and, you know, everyone's going through resumes or the fancy name curriculum vitae. And as soon as they see someone who's attained Eagle Scout status, I swear to God in the Bible, not lying, that young man, that gentleman goes right there to, you know, final interview, because a lot of people in the professional world that I deal with recognize the commitment and achievement that goes into that. It's a personal commitment on your behalf, but it's also a commitment on behalf of your families, your troop leaders, and everybody around you. And that means that you were able to inspire all those different people to join you in that endeavor. So I just want to say, you know, I haven't been asked by this, but I'm a deacon at First Baptist Church. I'm thrilled to know that the Boy Scout troop is thriving and doing so well. honest to goodness, I take my hat off to you, or my, whatever young woman should be wearing, old woman should be wearing as a hat. And I really do respect everything you've done that Mr. Greeley read in terms of what you've given back to the community. So even if you don't attain Eagle Scout, I would strongly encourage it. I did with my son, we came close. But definitely in terms of, it also helps as you go forward in terms of whether you go into the workforce, whether you go to a junior college, whether you go to a Ivy League or other college, or even into the workforce, seeing any affiliation with the Boy Scouts of America, it really gives you, in terms of when they're trying to make the cut, that kind of gives you a little bit of an edge. So I just want to say thank you on behalf of my colleagues and everyone else and my church for hanging in there with us, and I really do appreciate what all the Boy Scouts have done and all your troop leaders and moms have done to get you there. And look forward to see what you can do in the future.
Thank you very much, Ms. Mahan. Mr. Greeley?
Yeah, so, thank you very much. The lessons you're learning today truly are life lessons. But thank you on behalf of the town of Arlington. You are a great credit to this town and bring us honor. Thank you for that.
My colleagues couldn't have said it better. I'm very happy that you're here today, and I'm thrilled at your excitement and the work that you'll do moving forward. So thank you.
And I'll just echo that. We appreciate your service to the town. We appreciate your dedication, commitment. We were all very happy down in town meeting floor to see you up there watching us as we were digging into the fourth night. Come join us for the fifth night if you like.
Go home.
But thank you very much and congratulations, and keep up the good work. Thank you. Okay, so we now move on to our consent agenda. We have on the consent agenda minutes of meeting, April 24th, 2017, and May 1st, 2017. We have a request for special one-day beer and wine license, May 20th, 2017, at Robbins Memorial Town Hall for a private event, Carol Hogan, Dara Josie. Request for a special one-day beer and wine license, 5/2017, at Whittemore Robbins House for a private event, Allison Cook and David Hirsch. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Byrne. Do I have a second? Seconded by Ms. Mahan. Do we have anyone here who's here to speak on any of the items on the consent agenda? Hearing none, do we have any comments, questions?
I have to abstain from April 24th, so otherwise.
Okay. Mr. Greeley abstains from April 24th. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. All opposed? It is unanimous on a motion by Mr. Byrne, second by Ms. Mahan. We now move on to appointments for approval, the appointment of the parking clerk. And we did receive a request from Mr. Carmen, who is our current treasurer and collector of taxes. As the board knows, we have the authority to appoint a parking clerk. It has been the tradition of this board for some time to appoint the treasurer and collector of taxes. We do recognize there have been a lot of changes. I know that Mr. Carmen's looking at a lot of changes in the administration of the office in conjunction with Mr. Morse, the deputy. We also know there have been a lot of changes in our parking program. Accordingly, I did include a memo in the packet recommending that we do appoint Mr. Carmen, our parking clerk, through the end of the fiscal year 2018, which I hope will give us an opportunity to look at both the administrative considerations within the office, as well as gain a full year's experience of our meter program and the new collections and such, at which time, if we so wished, we could consider some other changes. But the administration is run through there, and I know that since there has been some time lag since the election, I believe there is a modest backlog of appeals and tickets, so there is some urgency to the appointment. Did you have anything you wish to add to Mr. Carmen? I want to note that Mr. Carmen is batting 1,002. He has been to every single Board of Selectmen's meeting since he was elected.
So just to put a sort of an emphasis on what Mr. Kira just said, the current plan, not to speak for Adam, but kind of speaking for Adam, is I'd like to be parking clerk through June of 2018. While that's going on, Adam and I are going to look at the current parking operations and, with the changes of the new meters and things like that, and sort of come back to you with a plan of what the future should look like. And that could mean the status quo, that could mean different changes, and things like that. So I think it would be best, especially sitting sort of deadline of the parking clerk of June 30, 2018, to sort of motivate to make sure we get it done before next spring. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Do I have any comments or questions by my,
Well,
Mr.
just
Greeley?
one. This would be an excellent appointment. He's already demonstrated what an excellent job he's already done as treasurer. But I do have a question. We at one point had on this board, and I can't remember whether it's a bylaw or not, that the appointment of parking clerk runs with the 3-year term. And so it coincides, I don't know what the right phrase is. Is it, through you, Mr. Chairman, Doug, is that a bylaw, or is that, can this vote, can we just change it? What,
So,
Yeah,
Mr.
please,
Chair,
Mr. Chairman.
I believe that the board can set the term by its vote
Okay.
tonight. And if that term needs to be extended, my guess is that it's just tradition that has kept it tied to the treasurer's office. Because in examining this, I believe Mr. Carmen examined it as well. It wasn't so much that it's more Chapter 90 that sets forth the selectmen's sort of ability, and it's silent as to term.
okay, it was quite an argument that night, so a while ago now. Were you here, Doug?
Late 80s, I
Yeah,
wasn't a selectman,
but I'm more than pleased to support this. I obviously would like to keep him longer, that's all. But he's not willing, apparently.
He's just eager to give up all of his duties. It's incredible.
I move approval.
Okay, moved by Mr. Greeley, seconded by Mr. Byrne. Do we have any other questions or comments? Oh, Ms. Mahan.
Just sort of piggybacking on Mr. Greeley's comments, not that there has to be a definitive answer tonight, but after this first year appointment of the treasurer as the parking clerk, I would imagine that if Mr. Carmen and Mr. Chapdelaine, after reevaluating and assessing how that year went, that you would not be necessarily against, if going forward in the future, would have you staying on for the year or the full term of your 3-year treasurer's term. Like, are you,
Mr. Chairman.
I guess my question would be, are you thinking right now it's just the 1 year, after that it's gonna be someone else, but after doing the due diligence and everything that you and the town manager do, if it seems prudent for you to continue on year 2, year 3, that you're amenable to that?
I don't know. I mean, I would be, but I don't know where we're gonna be in a year and a half. I mean, I think the big thing I think Adam and I have looked at is that the parking operations in town have expanded greatly over the last, 6 months to a year when you put the meters along Mass Ave and whatnot. So I think we've got to really look at, let's say, parking operations, cash collection, management, and then the job of the hearing officer. And I think, not to commit myself to anything, but I think what we're gonna realize pretty quickly is there are certain jobs that shouldn't leave the treasurer's office. It would almost be absurd to take the collection of parking tickets and put them somewhere else, because whoever else would do it would then have to come to the treasurer's office to hand them in anyway, so that's silly. Collecting the actual money out of the meters and some of the maintenance of that, I mean, that could move. And then it just leaves the last job of the hearing officer, which is the one I think everybody thinks about. So I think we'll end up in a position where some of it will stay and some of it will go elsewhere.
And then sort of a process question, and you probably said this, and I apologize if I didn't hear it, but in terms of evaluation over the next year, that will involve you as treasurer, Mr. Morse, Mr. Chapdelaine, and/or any other person or committee? Or is that the,
I would suggest, if I may,
Please.
Mr. Chair, I would suggest we would have internal discussions and then make proposals to the Parking Implementation and Governance Committee so that we had a broader set of people getting on board before we came back to this board with any recommendations.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, because I think, so Adam, Steve, Sandy, and Mike. Sandy, Steve, Michael Morris, and I are all on that committee. So when it goes there, it will, we'll go through them, and then we'll figure, what we're going to recommend back to you guys.
so that seems, Mr. Byrne,
Yep, that makes complete sense to me.
okay, that's where I was getting at in terms of who are the people who are going to be doing that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Greeley?
Yeah, but I would say that we actually name Mr. Byrne as our liaison, yes, to that committee, which he already is. But this is specifically a Board of Selectmen appointment, So I think having a selectman represent us, so I would so move, sir.
Second.
More than willing.
Okay, we have one motion on the table to name Mr. Carmen, the parking
Sorry.
clerk, through the, so if we can dispense with that motion first. All those in favor? Aye. All opposed? Then Mr. Gurley has a second motion to name Mr. Byrne to be the liaison for the process of looking at this, or
That sounds
is there a
excellent.
second?
Yep.
Is there a second on that?
Second.
Second? Okay, any further comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Mr. Carmen. Congratulations, Mr. Byrne. Okay, so we move on to traffic rules and orders, other business. First item is for approval, third annual sidewalk sale to benefit Earth Citizens Organization at 325 Broadway, Saturday, 5/13/17, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Mary Jo Sargent, Body and Brain Yoga and Tai Chi, 325 Broadway. Is Ms. Sargent here? No, not here. You
approval?
didn't expect. Ms. Mahan moves approval.
Second,
Mr. Gurley seconds.
subject to all conditions as set forth.
Subject to all conditions. Do we have any further questions or comments? Yeah, I think we've done this several years in a row, so all those in favor? Aye. All opposed? It is so approved. Next, we have for approval, amendment to traffic rules and orders. A, Schedule 4, isolated stop signs. B, Article 5, Section 15E, parking. This is from Officer Rateau, the Traffic and Parking Unit. I don't see Officer Rateau. You're going to speak to it, Mr. Manager?
Yeah, I can cover both, Mr. Chairman. So the first A, the isolated stop signs on University Road, that stems from resident contact we received from several town meeting members and parents in the Thompson School District expressing concerns about several traffic concerns around the Thompson School, but primarily traffic turning off River Road onto University, seemingly because of Waze. I don't think we've confirmed that, but another instance of Waze directing people around a stoplight that is backing up a little bit, coming down to the end of University and then taking fast rights onto North Union. So Jim Feeney, Assistant Town Manager, led a site visit with representatives from APD, engineering, as well as some of the residents. And the first step they all agreed upon instantly to improve safety would be putting a stop sign at the end of University Road so that people would come to a complete stop and be able to take a safer turn onto North Union. So that's the recommendation for the board to consider.
Okay. We want to take that first as one motion first. Mr. Dunn?
Yeah, first of all, I apologize to the board and for everyone else for being late this evening. So I just wasn't clear, is the stop sign is the traffic on University, is the traffic that will be stopped?
Correct.
Okay, all right, I just wasn't totally clear on that. I move approval.
Okay, Mr. Dunn moves approval. Do I have a second?
Second,
Mr. Greeley?
just a point of information, what does an isolated stop sign mean? I'm just not familiar with that term.
I believe that's referencing either the statute or the bylaw that allows for isolated stop signs,
Okay.
meaning it's not in a series of otherwise
Four
programmed
corner,
stop signs. yeah.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think it looks like it's referencing a schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's moved by Mr. Dunn, second by Mr. Greeley. Any further questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? It's unanimous. And the second item?
So the second item is coming right from the Parking Implementation and Governance Committee, as recommended by Officer Rateau. Really, I would say housekeeping in terms of the rules and regulations surrounding our new metering program. Any vehicle with a municipal, state, or federal plate while doing business would be exempted from having to pay meter fees if they are parked at a meter.
Okay. Do we have any further questions or comments? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Burns, second by Mr. Dunn. Any further discussion? Hearing none.
But these are if legally parked, correct? Right?
Yes.
Oh, it
Yes,
says
that's
that
what it is,
meter,
yes.
so I just want to be sure of that.
Expect them to be.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? It is passed unanimously.
I'd like to move that the town buy each selectman a car so that we would fit under this guideline.
How about a moped?
Because the town,
How about a bicycle built for 5? Go that way.
Oh, my goodness.
no second
Okay.
in that, huh?
Moving right along. Correspondence received. Invitation to participate in Memorial Day ceremony. Jeffrey Achungalo, Director of Veteran Services, We have a request to change the speed limit to 25 miles per hour on Westminster Avenue and Lowell Street. Sue Doctor, Town Meeting Member, Precinct 2199, Westminster Ave. Traffic flow on Glenburn Road. Krista J. Murta, 12 Glenburn Road. Petition for temporary repairs to Regis Road, abutting property owners, Regis Road. And parking request, East Arlington, Capitol Square, Cheryl Marceau. Do we have a motion to
Move
receive?
receipt.
Ms. Mahan moves receipt. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Byrne moves second. Do we have any comments or referrals? Mr.
So,
Chapman?
Mr. Chairman, I would suggest, first I would say the request to change the speed limit to 25 miles an hour, I believe we've already rectified that with Ms. Doctorow, in that there is no special speed limit set on Westminster or Lowell, so the default 25 miles an hour will apply to those two streets, so we'll be taking down the 30-mile-an-hour advisory signs.
Okay.
Which should rectify that. We've already set that into motion with the Department of Public Works.
Excellent.
And then I would suggest the traffic flow on Glenburn Road, the petition on Regis Road, and the parking request. You can refer to me for review and analysis, and then report back from the appropriate department.
So moved.
Okay, Mr. Gurley moves the referral. Do I have a second?
I can,
Or Ms. Mahan?
no, Mr. Grilli, second, just one
Okay.
comment. On the correspondence for East Arlington parking situation, I know if we look at the bylaws that we have here in the town of Arlington in terms of where you can park, regardless how close to a driveway or opposite a driveway, there would be literally next to no parking in East Arlington. So I don't know how much you want to take that on in terms of processing this request forward, but I have had residents in East Arlington who have said, we have this bylaw, and they feel perhaps it should be more enforced, and my thing would be if you could sort of evaluate that.
Absolutely.
And with the police department, fire department, and/or TAC, in terms of, and I'm not saying we should change that, but I know that, if you go down East Arlington Monday through Friday, anywhere near any streets that do not have 2-hour parking only signs, which we do enforce, just about 75% of the cars parked on that street should not be there. So I'm just saying to try to find a process in terms of their recommendations, in terms of maybe, getting information out to people who park there, and then, going forth to whatever next step. Do you know where I'm coming from?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Is that okay?
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else? Okay, first we have the main motion to receive, made by Ms. Mahan, second by Mr. Byrne. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? It's unanimous. And then we have the motion by Mr. Grilli, second by Ms. Mahan, to refer the last three items to the town manager. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. All opposed? It is unanimous. Before I entertain a motion to recess to run concurrent with the session of town meeting, which, God willing, will be our last of the year. I did want to note that the next regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Selectmen will be on next Monday, May 15th, 2017, at 7:15 p.m. I unfortunately will be out of town on business. Mr. Byrne will be presiding. Okay? So now I'll entertain a motion
Move to recess?
to run concurrent.
To run concurrent with the adjournment of the regular town meeting?
Second.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. All opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you very much.